Good morning and welcome to a very special Easter Sunday morning message church. And now you've caught me on my dog walk. It's very early in the morning. Just wonder if you can hear. Can you hear? The birds are singing really loudly. The street lights are still on, and it's a bit of a funny time of the morning, really, quite quiet and peaceful. And that's how Easter Sunday starts. It starts with still early in the morning. That's when the Bible reading starts. In fact, I'm going to try and get you to somewhere a bit special, to see something special in a minute. But while we do that, why don't we listen to that Bible reading? That Bible reading which starts with still very early in the morning. I'll come back to you in a minute.
Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance. So she came running to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one Jesus loved, and said, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have put him." So Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but did not go in. Then Simon Peter, who was behind him, arrived and went into the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the burial cloth that had been around Jesus' head. The cloth was folded up by itself, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciple, who had reached the tomb first, also went inside. He saw and believed. They still did not understand from Scripture that Jesus had to rise from the dead. Then the disciples went back to their homes, but Mary stood outside the tomb weeping. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other at the foot. They asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize that it was Jesus. "Woman," he said, "why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned toward him and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet returned to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I am returning to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went to the disciples with the news, "I have seen the Lord."
What an outstanding story. What an amazing story. Something that's never been seen before. Just imagine, can you imagine being those first disciples, being Mary, rushing off to the tomb to put the oils on and the special spices, and you probably would have been still feeling a bit sad from Friday, and then you rush off down to the tomb very early in the morning. When you get there, the tomb's been opened. First of all, you must think, I wonder if someone's stolen the body. I wonder if it's been stolen and put somewhere different. What's happened? What's going on? This is not what's meant to be happening. I just wanted to come and look after Jesus' body. I wanted to make sure he had the right burial. You know what? I don't think it's very normal for people to come back from the dead. In fact, it's not something I've heard of a lot before. But I wonder what Professor Guts has got to say about it. I wonder if it's something actually that's quite common, that people can come back from the dead. Let's go and find out what he's got to say as I carry on walking the dog, and then I'll get to the place where I want to be. I'll see you shortly.
Staying alive. Staying alive. Oh, hello, Internet. My name is Professor Seymour Guts. Today, you asked a very intriguing question about resuscitation and raising from the dead. Now, I did some research on the Internet, and it says to resuscitate or to come back to life, you need to sing this song. You ready? Ah, 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 ah. Staying alive. Staying alive. Ah, it's not working. What was I thinking? I can't raise you back to life. Now, luckily, I did some more research. This time in a very interesting book, a scientific journal, if you will, called Frankincense's Monster. And in the book, the person creates some kind of device, gadget, thing, which I have now recreated, which should raise a dead body back to life. Now I know that there's a dead body because it stinks. Just setting up. Now, I need to turn it on. Full power. And injection in 3, 2...
Oi! What are you doing? I only came for a massage.
This is ridiculous. Conclusion, Internet. It is very difficult, nay, impossible, to raise someone from the dead. Thank you very much. I have been Professor Seymour Guts. I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Well, thanks for that, Professor Guts. Not that I think it's been much use, but he has said that he thinks it's basically impossible for someone to come back from the dead, except we read in our Bible that it wasn't impossible and that it was actually possible. And I want to think about that a bit more, but the thing I've come to show you is just over my shoulder. Let's see if we can get it on the camera. There we go. Can you just see that? That is the sun just starting to rise above the hills. And you'll hopefully be able to see the reds just as the car goes past. You see the pinks and the reds over there. It's beautiful. It's much more beautiful. Oscar's pulling me. Much more beautiful in real life, but I hope you get a glimpse of that on the camera. See, as I started this walk, I started in gloom and darkness, and as I've gone along, it's got brighter and brighter and brighter. And that is the story of Easter, about the gloom being lifted. But I'll talk to you a bit more about that in a minute. Let's see if I can just show you over this shoulder. Let's see if we can get it back in again. There it is. The sun is rising. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. See you back at home. So I'm back at the end of my dog walk, and it's been a pleasure taking you with me. But just want to finish off by saying this. When Jesus was around there, he was teaching his disciples, he said, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. And this Easter morning, as I have now stood in the glory of the light, the sun has filled the earth. I want you to remember that Jesus is the light of the world. He defeated the darkness, the gloom, the death. And he was raised to life. Glorious light shines in all the world. And Jesus wants to shine in all of our lives. We've just got to let him in. Let him in and let him shine through us. So I pray that this Easter will be filled with that light of the risen Jesus Christ. A light that's always risen. We don't need to wait each morning for it to come. It's there all the time. May our Easters be filled with it, and may our lives be filled with it today and always. Have a great day. I'm going to have some chocolate egg for my breakfast, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
See you in the morning.